Father, I just thank you so much for the wisdom and understanding that you've been giving me today here at work. And thank you again for the financial stability that you're providing for all those that are um, just troubled with their financial resources, Father. Just ask that you continue to just bless them, Father, and give them encouragement and hope to seek you out, Father, and in your heavenly precious Son's name, amen. Uh, yeah, today, awesome day. Didn't have to run to make a video, although I did get to spend some good quality time with my brother. He showed showed me around, just like he said. We're still trying to iron every s- totes packed and a bunch of stuff still not gone through. A bunch of my stuff still packed because I'm not quite settled yet as to what's happening in its entirety. Although I have a good indication. Um, Pardon me. This is my son. I just want to read this real quick. Glue, glitter. Pardon me, just real quick, if you don't mind. I love you guys very much. Um, I don't know. You know what kind of blue I like, son. Just whatever you think I would prefer. I trust your judgment. Just try to keep it, reasonably price wise. He's asking me about the wrap he's just moved most of his stuff in the shop I was telling you all about. um Last couple few segments. He's got a My son Roy is getting him and his buddies got opened up a shop, and they've got most of their tools, and they're going to do that that exterior wrapping of the lights and stuff. And we were just discussing before I started this feed this video, um, about possibly wrapping that vehicle, because I really don't care for red too much. I mean, it's not that I really detest the color. It's just I don't. I like blue. I like blue. I really enjoy the blue, the great deep blue, very deep. Um. So yeah, and so I was just not wanting to be rude to him nor you, because I love both of you so much. I do that. Let's see. Today, glorious day. Thank you, Father, for not just the financial stability and understanding and and foresight as to, you know that there's a means not only to a peaceful end, but to a nice just there's just a I'm just absolutely so happy I got to see it. I didn't get to see my cow give birth, but today I got to see on video while we were at work a video of Justin's one of his cows giving head of cattle giving birth, and is just awesome, man. I'm just so today was I'm just at a loss for words. I know, right? It's just amazing. Yes, not just financial, and that's stability right there. That's financial stability. That's peace of mind when you're raising cattle, and you get to see life, and the circle of life, and and just the fruits of your labor. Anyway, he offers to sell me one of his cows. Man, that's so awesome. I didn't get an opportunity to um, to watch my one of the six of the little head of cattle that I had give birth. She went to Wayne, took them all to the auction, and like I said, I needed that money to pay the deposit to get in. right before the greatest escape to the little sulky incident. Oh boy, I sulked about that one. Oh man, thank you, Father, for getting me out of that pickle. Oh, jeez, Lord have mercy. I wouldn't have. I mean, like I said, it probably would have just been, but I'm not going to try to justify it. It was wrong. So yeah, I got to see that. Um, and seeing that, it's like that for him. I don't know. Maybe I'm just assuming. Um, but for me, if I was him on his property and seeing that life and his head of cattle growing, and because I think this is the second one that they had just not long ago, or the first mama that dropped wasn't. So he's plopping up. And he's got a registered bull, and the cow he's willing to sell me, he said I could finish off there if I wanted to. Of course, that'd give me an opportunity to hang out with him a little bit, more often. Give me a reason to go over there, because he's not going to feed her for nothing. Of course, he'd let her graze, but she needs the supplements. And he does that liquid one for now, but I'd bring her stuff. Or here, and I kind of brushed my brother today, but like I said, I'm not sure um, exactly what I'm doing from day to day um, in its entirety, so to speak. So I'm just on our Heavenly Father's good humor. And that, speaking of good humor, you hear that? Listen, the ice cream man just pulled up. That's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, and speaking of crazy, now I'm getting back right in the swing. I was just completely, they had show me everything. I had to get the key and everything now settled enough, even though we've been here almost a month. And no fault of his own. He's just think that's just, the fine tune things, you know, uh, they were gone for, let's say 8 hours and type of thing. This is how much we feed them. And so anyway, because they just sit and they wait for their mommy and daddy to get back. They're just sitting over there just waiting. They should be back anytime. But yeah, so that kind of got me off. I had a really excellent day with the big boss, and got to commune with him on the way in. It's just awesome. But yeah, Mr. L, every girl's crazy but top dress man. Love you, Mr. L. Palm, what is it? Palm blueberry. Palm blueberry. Every girl crazy. Texas tea. Yeah, awesome day. Almost a loss for words. So, but yeah, if I could get a little bowl and her and that cow made friends. I was singing that once I got that song in my head. Friends, how many of us have them? Friends. I couldn't get it out of my head. Before we go any further. Yeah, then she'd drop. You could have potentially a nice little go at some some meat on the cloven hoof. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what color of blue, Donnie. But I'll get back to him so I can just get into the back to the Wilhelm Senate Page Hickman saga and many more. So anyway, I'm heading off to Shelton in record time, Elizabeth Verhey, she uh she sounded like she was going to help me out. You know, she was going to give a fella a little love, and in my hardest of hearts, and I'm almost absolutely certain that she probably was gonna, you know, serve me right concerning true justice. I mean, as far as she possibly could, and then something happened along the way because she said to that prosecutor and the public defender. Oh no, actually, it was the public defender. You, not you, meaning me, not him. You, uh, bring me the. I want the outcome of his drug court finding. And like I said, she asked the bailiff, when do they leave? And I think he said Tuesdays and Thursdays or Tuesdays. She said, then I want to see him Monday. And I thought, oh, thank you, Father. Oh man, oh Elizabeth Verhey, she's gonna help me head him off at the pass. See, I didn't know anything about Mary Robinette, lioness. Ooh, hear her roar. I had never. Now I heard of her, but I didn't know, who she was. I just thought she was just, one of them, another worker in that county, that courthouse. Um, and there's, you hear names when because of all the crosstalk and stuff. But I found out that she was responsible. She was one of the whistleblowers in Pierce County there in Tacoma. Um, she worked, if I understand this correctly, she worked under Mark Lindquist, which was the deputy prosecutor, I believe, for the county. Uh, and then there's Kawamira, Michael. I think Kawamira. Oh boy, that guy's a real. There's nothing to see there. Let's see. He was the head of the chairman. I think the board of director at the Pierce County Alliance, and the head something rather. Anyway, completely just some weird stuff going on. They were cooking the books big time. They had all the right people to funnel that tax money, but she blew the whistle on Mark Lindquist, who was he's a pedophile. The guy's he's a he's a real winner. Tall guy. We call him Lurch. I know people that have, you know spent time with him, and not the kind of time you want to write home to mother about. Definitely one of them. Victoria has no secrets, and but yet he was just he was well, him and that Brandy, that Karen, they worked together a lot, a whole lot. And can you imagine this man having 1,000 Karens, 1,000 Brandys, 1,000 of them, ruining, let's see, as many as they possibly could get into that courthouse? Well, do you think they would, the same person coming? You'd be real surprised. And just like an auction, just like the cattle. Next. Sometimes they don't even lift their head up to look. Oh, yep. Some they do, and some they don't, and some it's just as well. So yeah, she ended up blowing the whistle on Mark Lindquist. It was a spiritual intervention, because there was a great shaking coming in. What she was doing is just kind of blazing the trailhead just enough. And then, you have to get those demolition men in there and start just taking it down. Just start taking it down from the inside out. And so she said, "Hey, listen, man, I can't do this no more. You see, there's there's a great reversal. She says, I can't do this. She goes, you're destroying countless lives. And was doing what he was doing is he was inadvertently, well, wages of sin. Oh, that was just he was just a pus bag, a corpse. Lurch, yeah, we called him Lurch. Big, tall guy. Well, not big, but he was just a real, the most, one of the, just fit perfectly into Pierce. He was a Pierce County pillar. Oh, he sure was. Oh yeah, they're all they're all laughing now, huh? I told him, you watch. I think I said 60 or maybe 90 days. You're going to think about this conversation we're having right now. And he laughed. The big guy behind him says, I have a feeling this guy, what he's telling you is the truth. And you're probably going to more than just think about it. You're probably going to regret running your pie hole. No offense. Pardon me. I don't mean to offend. I thought we were still at 0. Of course, there's always 1. It got warm today at work. Oh, and the boss brought out his drop light, and I'm like, oh, Big Roy. And I heard Justin say, oh, we'll work late if we have to. And I'm thinking, it's getting hot. Please just let us get acclimated just another couple days, because now I've done Tampa weather. Ugh. Whew. Step out of the shower, and you just got to feel like you got to get right back in it. That's one of many things I couldn't stand about that state. Anyway, so she blew the whistle on him. He tried to fire her, and I think right around the same time, I had my brush with Hosmer again. Once again, me and Hosmer. Yeah, I forgot all about that Motel 6. Uninet, that's what they called them. I think it's what they called themselves. And oh, even their henchmen were like, they didn't understand how that anyway. I don't want to go there. I'll do a whole segment on that, because you guys will think I'm bragging, but they didn't. They had to be real careful keeping certain people away from me at certain times. They didn't want the wrong person being alone with me for too very long, because they'll flip. They and I didn't even realize that's what was happening. But looking back now, that's exactly what was going on. See, they couldn't kill me, so they were trying to get me to destroy me, through my own sanity. And of course, then you'll. So don't do it, people. You don't want to be jumping out of any, unless of course there's a pool down below, and it's and or on 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 old Marky boy, Marky Mark, and the jerky twerks. Ugh, you want to talk about twerk? Ugh, this boy. Yeah, little girls. And then he's putting people away. But the judges, they're all, most of them, they knew how to stack the docket, because there was some good ones in there. Judge Murphy, he's a good man. His heart was in the right place, but he's elite. Now we're at a different time and place, and so I just pray he's made the right. Well, of course, he ain't doing a whole lot right now, but so yeah, they were real careful to be real careful on that docket setting. Change of venue. Countless lives, destroyed so many lives. killed so many people. Drugs, despair, suicide, homicide. You just drive people right in it. And so many different facets. You wouldn't believe it. Not just one little area. And on the surface, it looks like a monetary situation. It looks like a monetary uh, degradation. This cancer, like it's just money. Oh, it's just money. It's just money. Yeah, it's evil. It's sad. But it's money. That's what keeps the people on that puppet string, on that marionette string. But it's way more permanent than that. Because that money, it only lasts so long. So she ended up, I think she got fired or something like that. Something happened. I'm not exactly sure, but she did go to somebody that was able to get her story out enough to now the moral of this story, as we're in revision, is that she happened to be the one that is basically deputy prosecutor now. Can you imagine that? Of course, Rose, she's got her own little thing going on. Like I said, they got their own little cliques, kind of like in most congregations. I almost said church. Everybody's got their own little cliques, you know. Oh, Desi, he said, "Oh, I wasn't alone," but they got their own little cliques. You see them in every. Bethel was, like I said, those three reminded me almost of the three there at old Rod Stewart's concert, except their hearts were in the right spot, but they're just like that. Just so anyway, now she's the head dog, top. She's the pride winner now. She's leading the pride around up there, and oh man, what a beautiful thing! What a beautiful thing! And I was led to pray for her. They kept clicking that phone off, and like I said, the whole month that it was a fast track. I didn't get no. They fast tracked. It might have been less than a month, but I think it was around maybe it was 52 days. Oh no, I think that the reason I say that is because on my credit for time served, I have the paper. But either way, every time I was on the phone, and then I kept saying, "Listen, Tawana, I want you to pray for Mary Robinette," because I kept hearing. And then I heard some guy saying, I said, wow, okay, well, I'm gonna pray about this. And they kept, and I was like, well, what's up with that? She's a prosecutor. And I didn't know why I was praying for her, no more than I knew why I was doing some of the things that were being done. But now, looking back, I completely understand. So my faith has become living in the moment is the way to go for me. Um, I was praying for fasting, praying for her. And I was like, trying not to reach too far. Like, Lord, what is she going to help me? Because he, I knew I was innocent. I knew, deep down inside, man, all I deserved was maybe 30 days in jail. Maybe. Actually, what I needed is instead of going, or like I said, just to the University of Washington, if they would have just took me right over there and said, oh, yeah, well, where there's smoke, there's fire. We know exactly what's going on with this young man. Oh, yeah, we can we can rewire him. We can rebuild him. We can make him new. Remember $6 million man? And I would have been probably by the age of man, I would have probably been snapping out of her by. Well, I certainly wouldn't have been thrown to the Lurches, the Lindquists, and the Wilhelms and all that. Can you imagine that guy Hickman had a court called baby court? You think I'm kidding? Of course, no, you don't. I'll tell you once we get to there, I got a little ahead. I was going to tell you about when I was in Stafford Creek, but I'm about to get there about what I found out, the vision I had about that. That's how I found out. I was like, what? I had to get right on that phone. You know what? They never hung up on me in Stafford Creek. They did in Shelton all the time. They did in that county. And they did in Walla Walla, but not much. Now I got a call today at work, and I said, "Hey man, can I get this?" Because I had to. I knew it was Jim, and I think it was when I was doing running a video or something, and I didn't answer it. And I normally don't do that because I normally don't get calls from him anymore. Like I said on Sunday, because they sent everyone home. There's no money because they got to pay their mortgage. I said, Mars, and so I said, he said, handle it, boss. So it was Brian Stark there in Old Wally World, 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Mockingbird Lane. Hey, Ro. I said, brother, he's called me. Of course, he's the one that, I right away. He says, yeah, I've heard that before. And I said, mm-hmm. Daddy, what are you doing? I said, well, I got something to do. I got something to do right now. Prayed over it. Oh, yeah, that set him back. He finally calls me today, talking a million miles a minute. Oh, him and I, we could get along just great if we, had an understanding. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was like it was a choir. Of course, it was a slippery place to. That was a boy. That was a walk on a slippery rock. And he says, "Well, I got someone here that wants to speak to you." And he hands it to me. I already knew who it was. I said, "Who am I speaking to?" I already knew. It was Big Jim. I need you to call somebody, Brian. I tried to. He was all bent out of shape. I tried to. I knew it was him. Yeah, I think it was yesterday or the day before or something. I tried to. Who am I speaking to? I wanted him to take a breath. He was starting to remind me, kind of how I got last night. I had to apologize to my bro for snapping because I kind of did on the phone. And uh, and he don't deserve that. Right or wrong, it doesn't matter. There's two wrongs don't make. So, but I take it. Who am I speaking to? I was talking to Wesley. God, man, I hope Connie. I'm certain that he's. I hope Connie found, because I don't know. So she's just. She could be vulnerable. It's the weirdest thing. You make her angry, and you're liable to get the crap sacked out of you. Quick, fast, and but then she could get caught. In them. I don't know what you guys are doing, but man, my heart just. Whew. Oh man. And don't read into that. Yes, we're friends, and yes, but that's how you become lovers is friends. We are. So I guess I picked that up, that that song. I didn't share it because I didn't listen to it in its entirety, the Moon one, but I did just for a couple seconds. And I thought I went right to Tammy on Casey's deal, and so I thought about you and your so just call me then if that's the issue. If you Why would you put yourself through that? Just call me, because it's like I said, I'm I've held up my end of the bargain, and like I'm just doing what I'm doing. So just just do what you're doing or not. But I love you, so right? Oh, don't think I didn't want to, but I wanted to stimulate you calling my name, and you address me and I'll address you, and we'll recognize each other and give each other that respect. And oh, don't think I didn't want to, believe me, because I'm just like probably more so than most, because I'm just in tune. And oh, believe me, you. So if you called me right now, I would stop what I was doing, and that's how sure I am of my wife becoming. But forced love is rape. Well, that would just tie me over until we actually met up. You'd say, okay, yeah, just tie yourself over real quick, and then it's a 10-hour run. I'd be able to make it, but you know what I'm saying. That's just, I'm down. I'm down. Just don't think I wasn't. I prayed and I just live in the moment. Because if I would have planned it, oh, believe me, I'd have been running down there with my shorts around my ankles. Call me the street. Who's that by? That you drink, right? Well, not as much as I think I do, especially here. Not not hot tea. No more. I'm probably gonna retire that thing. I'll get up drinking. I just like my tea. I'm like I'm like Uncle Si. Uncle Si. But I love those guys. I love all the Robertsons. All of them. Every one of them. Of course, what's not to love? I didn't want to burp on you guys. That is absolutely just rude, uncalled for, and preventable. I like that lady on Globe Busters. It is measurable. It's observable. Ooh, that was real cute. That was a little. We had a little flang dangle. we had a we had a little deal going on there, people. That wasn't natural. So let's see where we are. Oh, my beloved lioness, Mary, 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 Mary. So I says, wait a minute. This is just, of course, I knew, but the Lord just allowed me to, because there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm by myself. He says, oh no, Desi, you're never alone. They waited. Old Steen step up. Of course, she was a cat. She wasn't there. She was over there. They were all just shaking. They were watching. They were all watching on the monitors. And uh, you guys will see. You'll see. You're gonna see everything. You're gonna see it all play out on that big screen. You want to talk about movie night? Ooh, sweetie. Want to talk about movie night? That big old screen. You're gonna take a good little gander at everything all at once, and it's all gonna be made perfectly clear. Special knowledge holds true, like a magnet drawn. Just yeah, just to the sea. And I think somebody in that chat the other day finds its path of least resistance. Yes, until it's tired of being, because nothing's going to hold back that water. Think about it, really. What force? It's the water, nothing else. Driven by the wind, in circuit by our heavenly. Oh my gosh, they're playing Christmas. I'm serious. Be Chris. Listen. Rudolph, with your nose so bright. I cannot believe they're playing Christmas music. I'm the ice cream man should be playing out of that ice cream truck. Not Christmas. Oh, Lord have mercy. You know, and the misnomer, the misconception that all Southern people are, well, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tonto, disguised as a door. That's not true. My new fast friend, beloved brother, Justin, is sharp as a whip today. Of course, now not just song stuff because he knows I got the song stuff down. So he starts the movie stuff, and I don't watch TV worth the. I'm not, I'm not the, I'm not that guy. And but he threw in, and then the the Grey Poupon one just blew him. And then old Mr. Roy said, "Oh, you guys are really starting to scare me now. You guys are really freaking me out." Of course, he was just messing around, but that Grey Poupon one was a good one. That was a good one, Justin. And I apologize. I would have head over and seen the calf being born. All right. I mean, to see what sex it was. His wife sent him a video of it, and I shared it. And like I said, he offered to sell me, and I might buy it. I think she's almost 800 pounds. I can either bring her here, probably over there, because I don't know exactly what's happening with because I'd like to spread myself kind of thin too, but yet be where I need to be and try to help out where I can. Service work, man, that's where I find the most enjoyable time spent is service work, and you can get so much done. You can make money. That's why I've been praying about your guys' finances, and please, Heavenly Father, help them not to stress about any financial worries or troubles or anything. It's all just a lie. I know I've lived in the most. I told you I used to call the dang pizza place up and then not go get it and wait for them to throw it away and then when she seen me going through that, they just would leave the. I know what it is, people. I know to be homeless, and the homes are harder to find, and then when you do find them, they're hard to get into. And then if you have a dog, a little pet for your children, they're all our children too. Also, not two, unless it's you two, because it was a beautiful day, glorious day. Uh, it's hard to get into a place with an animal with a dog because people ruin stuff for other people. For people like us, actually love our heavenly Father, seek first the kingdom and all its Mother Earth is handiwork. All that is, or no man, human, will be with an excuse. Trust me. The natural world, their signature is supernatural. You're gonna be standing buck naked. Glorious day. So I shared that video, and I apologize, Justin. I wanted to get back and do a video, and then my brother had to walk me these ins and outs, and God, I had to get another key. I could have swore he gave me a key, and I lost. I don't normally do that. I don't know if it's not lost, it's misplaced, but I got it now, and so I know how the dogs are to be fed and stuff. So today was a glorious day. It was an event day, and so back to a little less glory, but there's always a silver lining, a gold sash when journeying with me on LOL. That roll, just ROLL. Of course, LL. There's that square D, four corners. So Mary was praying, and then Verhe, and then she scrape on me, and I thought, okay, something ain't right here. When the lieutenant with brought me down, when they, threw the chum in the water first to get the sharks going, and then little Donnie Steen. Oh, they always chum the waters first. That's why I said they don't want that people around me too long by themselves, because things start to manifest and be exposed, and once you can see and you can start to you know disassemble, dismantle, and disproportion and discombobulate its little, because it's all about confusion. It confuse, control, and conquer. That's it. See, they got the confuse, control, but people aren't getting that it's to kill you, to so that you know we don't have uh, to reserve and up the catering. We're gonna have to. This is gonna be a big banquet feast and counting, people. So I'm praying. I'm heading off to prison. I'm sure. Now, my buddy Chris, he hasn't come back from Western State, so I knew that he told him the truth. And I'd prayed and fasted, and no, I didn't know who that other. I had an idea who that other angel was that was sent to protect me there in that Pierce County shithole. Excuse my language. I know my intent's in the right place. My heart's in the right place. My intent and motive is I wouldn't recommend it because it's not, and I dropped that F bomb, a couple of them yesterday. It's not funny, I know, but I guess if I wanted to pass the buck, I could blame it not on the rain, Millie, Vanilli. I could blame it on this dang sun and the heat, and they've been having me cooped up. Mr. Cooper. God, wasn't that nasty, Cooper and Zappa? If that was true, of course, that might have been just a nasty, nasty rumor. But oh yeah, praying and fasting. There's some more stuff that happened in that jail. Oh, a lot more stuff. Oh, I spent more time. Did you get that? Did you get that? And then finally, she really was a trooper about giving relaying my transmissions and putting them on Fox and stuff to let people know, what was going down, and hopefully they were picking up what was being laid down and using it to build eternity for them, just one day at a time. Sweet Yeshua, it's all it is. It's all it is, man. You're just squared away. It's so simple, man. It's just can figure it out. Yes, I picked that up, Justin, today. I picked that up. You've been watching, my friend. Grasshopper. God, I love that tie today, Mr. L. You are so on point. Oh, you're on some. They're over there playing. Those two. Look, you gotta see this, you guys. They're over there. Look at them. And the kookaburras confirmation. Yeah, you get her. Look at. Oh, look at that. They're so happy. All right. They're getting all my attention. I can't have that, dang it. I can't have that. And I'm going to, I won't worry about it. I got a cooler in there, a fridge. So I'll have bulls in there cold if I have to put them out there when I go to work, if they're out at breakfast or something. Then I'll know in my mind they got cold water. And they have each other, of course. So if your dogs are out on a chain and you're led to, they've got company, great, but gosh, they're social creatures. They're not like a reptile or something. They don't. Otherwise. But there's something about those dogs. They're like little angels wrapped in fur. And so anyway, I'm heading off to. Matter of fact, a buddy of mine, he goes into the kiosk because they don't want you to know that you're leaving for security reasons. But I had the trustees go down and look in my kiosk. I gave them my deal, and they went like this because we have to talk in sign language. I don't know sign language, but seem like I can read it better than I can dictate it or express it, and I can't sign, but I'm almost certain I can. And that's how people communicate. That's how they know. Well, what do you mean that your attorney's out? And no, that's not true. Well, really, they just forced me to sign a continuance. Of course, this was years ago. I don't know. Of course, they ain't doing nothing right now. Told them, you watch. You're gonna look back on this and wait. I know I kind of brushed over a little bit on the segment when they brought me over the mountain and did their little Chinese fire drill change, because that's how they do the bus. That's how they move those prisoners around. They just swap the drivers and they turn around and go back that way with it, and the other bus goes that way. And I said, "You're gonna reap what you sow." They sat there for 10 hours. Right when I got on the bus that ran, their bus didn't, and they sat there for 10 hours. State Patrol. I laughed and laughed and laughed. And the Lord said, "It's okay. You can laugh." That's why I say, it's all right. You can laugh. It's okay to laugh. It's all right. If your heart's in the right spot and it's funny, laugh away. They're not laughing. We're laughing. It's the craziest thing. It's so crazy how this is working now. It's kind of oh yeah, just laugh it up. And now, of course, that guy, he's as big as a house, and his wife's all running around with half the orchard workers, and sad situation. I'm not gloating at all, or has nothing to do with that. Believe me, I'm not doing that at all. Oh, I've learned my lesson. I don't wish that on nobody. But so anyway, so yeah, I'm getting sent out. He's like, "Yep," signing up to me like, "Yeah, that you're leaving. You're not in here," because they shut down that, so you can't use anything. So you can't, your phone, your pen doesn't work or nothing. And so I was like, "All right, I'm." So I made sure I wrote a big message on the wall, because they had me right by the toilet. That's right. That's the little cubicle, because it's all concrete in these, like, it's like big beehives. It's exactly what it looks like. And this cubicle, everybody wants this one because the light's on, 24 hours a day, and everybody's going and using the crapper. God, if it could only an alchemy set. Oh God, what a fool! You're right, Mr. L. Not at all. Not if you. Well, you're starting to. You're starting to. You know. Oh yeah, all night long. Of course, people tried to be respectful and stuff. Some of them tried to be respectful. Some of them, they were coming down off heroin. They're feeding every day, and the Chinese meth and heroin and everything that was, you know, pushed by our well, you guys all know that alphabet soup, and so I wrote a nice big old message on the wall. And when that cop came up to get me and said, "Steen, roll him up. You're leaving." And I said, "Okay." I was basically already up. I was just laying there. I'd already got up, and I knew. I'm glad I was fasting, because I don't. Do you know how difficult it is to try to feed the warden when you're shackled and cuffed with chains like this on a bus, that when they know you're back there on that bus, because it's all wired in, they do play these little games. Most people, they just climb on the toilet and they piss all over everything, because they don't have to clean it or other things. But there's a guy right here with a shotgun, and there's really not a whole lot they can do unless they pull over, and they're not designated to do that, unless it's their little pit stops to torture you with the food that you're not going to be eating anytime soon. Oh, of course, they could be sitting right there at a beautiful park bench. It's just 5 feet away, because they have a certain area they have to park, and of course that's what that bench is for. But it's nicer on a 78 degree sunny cloudless day in the bus with the convicts. Oh no, pardon me, offenders. Look up what offender means. So or the old offender with the, I think what he's talking, Greek, Hebrew, or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching. He's a sinner though. So I'm heading out. Big message on the wall. I knew Red was going to see it right when he woke up. Say that old Steen. And he gave word to Mad Rob. Yeah, he got that. He got 84 a month. They gave him that 84 months. Of course, nobody could believe it. They're like, "What? I thought you were doing good." And I said, "Yeah, that was." And you just after a while, you just got to say, "Yeah, but you just talk yourself into a depression." And like I said, they got us up so early in the morning. Normally, I'm up early. I'm up early and down kind of early, 10, 11. But it's quiet anyway. 10:10 is the rule there usually. But I got up early, 3:30. Sometimes breakfast would roll around just to give my stuff away because I didn't want to give it to the trustees. I didn't want to be rude yesterday, but they when they're blowing up like a house because they're eating this cake, which is the only it comes in pans. I know there's something funky about it, but it's just white, and they don't cook it there. They get it already. They just all they have to do is cut it. It's the most. It's bad news. And then the rest. And then there's turkey and everything. There's no nothing. It's all turkey. It's just the turkey is in different. Like they'll do turkey like slop, turkey patty, and then a turkey burger. Yeah, turkey patty and turkey burger, two different things, but turkey. And you can smell it. It's just mechanically separated crap. It's so nasty that I honestly, and I don't complain about food. I've eaten shit off of shingles. I'm exaggerating, but I've ate some, and I am picky. I because I just eat, but I'll eat it. I'll eat it. But this stuff is so disgusting. Really glad when I was the last time that I was fasting and had the discipline to do so, and you could smell it, kind of like chicken. Chicken, those nasty little boogers, not the ones you raise. You get that skin, and you can wash your hands, like I said, over and over and over. You smell it just like the pork. I've scrubbed my hands, and you can still smell those nasty buggers. So anyway, I'm heading to the Hooskow. They're taking old Donnie Steen to. Matter of fact, that's where that Cochrane they waited till the statute of limitations wore out on that. They waited right till the statute of limitations. That guy, Mr. Cochrane, was from Shelton. That founded that prestigious law firm that goes again that goes that takes the actually they got a really good success rate, lawsuits, and a lot of big wins against the Vatican church. As a matter of fact, my biological father, like I said, I believe I mentioned it last quite segments ago, that my dad he he got diddled with when he was really young at one of them schools, Catholics. He went to Catholic school. Most of my family pretty much was. And so he's like, yeah, once you use them, and that old Cole Douglas. Oh, it, it was bad news. Bad news bears. They were all finally. I mean, they probably weren't in on it, but they were just told, hey, listen, here's the deal on this deal. And that's what they did. And I got the box. I got all the paperwork. They just completely sanitized it. But like I said, just the weight, just in the the weight of the mass of the paperwork on one little kid crime, it had just dawned on me. I'm thinking, God, this right here, just right there, that right there, and nobody ever even called one of my not Kent, nobody, none of them, and Kent would have said it would have been an excellent, not family, state patrol. I mean, what else do you want? Ask for. And then of course Sue, she's not been in any trouble if it's a matter of a character with her character. Forrest, you know he's snapped out of it. He's got his stuff more than together in that, and the that sense, as far as they need to be concerned. Skip was Skip, Susie, of course Martin. But I got his Alpental rescue. Daryl Birch didn't call Daryl. None of them. Not, and then John. John, they didn't call John. John, he was the one that helped me when Bob didn't like the fact that Bonnie and I were, well, thought we were getting a little too chummy, but we had taken me and old Michael rode that boat ashore a few times already. Well, never mind. That's not so. But anyway, he was a real, yeah. None of the witnesses, none of them. A lot of them, so many that it was ridiculous. Not one, but waited until that statue was completely ran out to say, "Oh, and by the way," I was like, and I didn't get that revelation until long after. And you would think, "Oh man, God is cruel." No, he has so much more uh, invested than this. What we perceive as our concerns are so minuscule to his, because really they really are. They really are. Like I said, the financial. Because I know you guys have been, and you, I believe, Melly, if I'm understanding this correctly, I've felt this right about, I don't know what time was it, maybe 1 or something. I just felt like there was a big disturbance in the force. If that, and I could be wrong, but if that's it, why would you do that to yourself? Oh man, look at that! I'm bleeding all over myself. So, man, I'm dinged up all over from pounding them nails, and we had to scab in some more trusses. And that place it's coming right along. Tomorrow we're going to be tearing that roof off. It's got 3 roofs on that thing, and it's old, so it's not going to come off. Like, I've tore off many roofs, and a newer roof, so to speak, that you're tearing off, you can get in sheets. You can tear it off in big pieces, and you can just right off the roof, just have the truck and the trailer right there. But when it's old and brittle, oh, it's a nightmare because it turns to dust. And that composition, that stuff gets heavy. It gets real heavy. And not to mention, this air is going to get real heavy. I can already feel the humidity. And old boss said he's going to be bringing a big old thing. He had some Gatorade today. Oh, it was good. It was good. He made it strong too. It looked just like radiator fluid. It looked like antifreeze. Oh, it worked just like it. Anyway, so I'm kind of getting off track. Okay, so I'm headed to there was some more about, so I already did the lighting of the lamps. That, that got, so I've already filled that in. Cole Douglas. See, they never let me past Cole there, but I knew the guy, Cochran. It's because Wayne was my buddy at the Jesse Diesland Boys Ranch in Tacoma when John Dubuis, that weirdo, and he was another one of my witnesses. Imagine that. How can you just make that up in full and just fit it right in like this? I don't. That's why I say just live by faith. By faith, just make just do it. And Wayne Cochran and that crooked son, and I, of course, I know he's the head honcho, so just like I said, and then I'll just let it go. Oh, don't worry, we got investigators, and they're so top notch, and got so many. I'm sure your records were subpoenaed, and I had to sign a few relief of interest. Hey, don't you dig in that yard? Sorry, I didn't mean to blow your ears out. She ain't digging. She ain't digging in that yard. That little one, she digs. She's that little dingo, little digging dingo. No, sweetheart, I told you, unless it's get the net. I told you that. Oh, and if you're on the fence, you might want to get off. That's not a good place to be. That's actually lukewarm. He says, I'll spit you from my mouth. So you'd rather you be just cold. Because at least with cold, you know what you're getting. You're not being a hypocrite. No, don't read into that. Like I said, it ain't a riddle either. It ain't if you're picking it up that way, that's because that's the way it was supposed to be laid down, and you're supposed to walk right there accordingly, or not. Or you got or you got your other foot. You're straddling the fence, so you got your other foot in. So you got one and then one in. Remember, and you're peeing all over. It's not a good place to be. So you can use that as many different metaphors. That straddling that fence, lukewarm. I'd rather you be hot, but if not hot, cold, because lukewarm will get you. You know why? Because for the very reason why I stuck my finger, one of the reasons, right to the sky when I lost my best friend. I thought if there's a God and he hates my guts and I would flip the sky off and just cuss at the top. As a little kid, I was so angry. And so yeah, that and I'll tell you why. Because all those hypocrites. Now see, had I witnessed no something other than lukewarm spiritual religion, and I was seen on fire, little sparky, see that you see that lamp light, that forest ablaze, hot, then maybe, just maybe, our heavenly creator says, just maybe, I would have been able to go, wow, if I just hang on, just go a little bit further. You see, Desi, you're never alone, ever. And so I would have been able to recognize that, but the Lord said, well, now this kid, he's gonna go through some serious suffering. He's gonna. There we go. And so that's exactly what happened. If she digs again, I'll be right back. I'm gonna have to go grab a little rod because I won't hit the dog with my hand. I don't do that. There you go. That's right. She went right back to it, looked at me, and then decided to go sit down by D. So yeah, those lukewarm Christians, and just maybe I would have, but instead the Lord was able to use that also. There's consequences to our actions. Sometimes it goes to the I'll be right back. Oh, little orphan Annie. I just had to whoop her fanny. So this is what I used right here, my little old timer. This is one of my many. I just had to give her. It scared her more than anything. Now she's getting the message. So anyway, yeah, those lukewarm Christians, just you got to be real careful. That fence, that's no comfortable place to be. That reminds me of that little jingle we wrote. Toutle River Boys Ranch. What a place to be. You can't even in privacy. For $1 an hour, we bust our ass. And then when it comes to pay, you have to kiss staff's ass. Then there was a little more, but I won't go into detail. So, rentals. I probably would have still been, of course, I would have been doing what I'm doing now, but I would have worked probably at the rentals plant for bucking logs or doing something. Anyway, so off to prison. Little orphan Annie. Off to prison I went. With everything on in open court, I made sure I repeated myself more than two. Of course, my attorney was just like, oh, no, I'm about ready to get. And even my daughter, yeah, well, they were the only ones in the court. My daughter and Tawana, and Donnie doesn't like those kinds of things. And she was like, "Dad, what are you doing? You're gonna make?" I said, "Oh heck no." That's exactly what I said. I said, "Hell no." I said, "Oh hell no." I said, "No, nope." I says, and they're just, basically I've spent enough time on you. I'm not taking a recess, because she says, "Well, does the court want me to go? Does the court want the state to go offer that up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I sure do." You go get what you got, because I can go get it here in a few minutes. You go get it. You go get that what you're showing me here on paper. Wait till I show you what they had on what they all my stuff. Oh yeah, their calculation was right on the money. Just they had the wrong guy. That's all. They just had the wrong person. Uh, they thought they had the right guy, but they had the wrong dude. They did not want to get a hold of him at all. And of course, Mary and I, we just kind of worked together. The Lord just used us. It's amazing on how all this works. And like I said, had that courthouse, I would have already been there. I would have uh, tried to, as secretly as possible, get her, find out what she likes to eat, or if she likes Starbucks, God forbid. And I would have got her a nice money, a gift card, and got, had her, one of her worker, receptionist, or the clerk or whatever, give that to her, because she really deserved it. On top, she already knows. She knows how I feel. The word has gotten around, but I still wanted to give her something that she could go out, maybe El Toro's. We got El Toro's, excellent Mexican restaurant. And give her, a couple $100, because you can't even get a plate for 30. You're paying 30-40 bucks for a good plate there. It's something, maybe she can take one of her friends out or something. But yeah, she just has done so much for so many people. That's the least I could do. And I had no idea why. Now I know why I was praying so hard for her. And I'd heard, like I said, I'd heard her name, but I didn't really know. And then this one guy, matter of fact, this one fella, before I went to prison, um, of course, they were doing him real dirty dirt too. Um, there's cases that are way worse than mine. Way worse. Way worse. It was sad situation. Of course, if you didn't know the truth you were becoming, that it would have been real tragic. But it was sad, um, because it just, it other people were like, "Oh my God, this could happen to me," and well, which gave me an opportunity to say, "Well, just pray." But there were other people that really were getting nailed for, even less shit for more time, excuse my language, and being made to believe that they really deserved, a good portion of this time. And that's what they seem to do too. They'll get, of course, a lot of you already know this, it's the oldest trick in the book. They'll overcharge you and ram that poisonous seed home, and then hopefully get someone like, oh, Kelsey, they just sent her in with the water pail to water that seed. And then and then when they come at you with a plea bargain that's still way over overshoot. They're just completely. Oh God, what a meat market! And then you think, oh, that's a good deal. That's a lot better than. It's so sad. It reminds me of selling cars. Oh God, you're never gonna be salesman of the year if you or salesman of the month if you just keep getting minis. Yeah, but look at all the people that come in and say, no, man, I want him to sell me a car. Well, this guy, he's just a yard boy. He just picks up garbage. I want him to sell me a car. It's funny. It's the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my life. Of course, when you look at the sticker, you know how much you got into it, but that's that price, and you can work off that sticker. And I go, oh well, this is what that is. Are you serious? I'll give you that for you. You're just saying, well, I can get. Are you serious? Serious? You still get paid. We get a couple $100, $250 a day. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. God, you could have made 4 or 5 grand off that car. Really? You want to gouge somebody and make 4 or 5 grand off one? Well, you might be standing out here 3 months. No, you might be standing out here 3 months. I wouldn't be standing out here 3 months. I'd be standing out here maybe 3 hours picking up garbage, waving and smiling at people, and they would just pull in and ask how much that doggy in the window is. She's being good now. She's just sitting there now. She's just needed a little whack. So, got her stuff together. Oh, so good. Let's see. Uh, Mary Robinette, Stephanie C. Oh, so I got an appeal in going. I'm in Shelton. Meet for we're making some smock. Like I said, I don't really talk. Even people that I know of me are the same. Man, that's Scrappy's brother. Yeah, I don't be familiar. Or I'm not Scrap. I'm his brother. Oh, what you guys look like? Yeah. And I just do my own thing. I just try to not don't like get involved in me. And and I'm telling you, it could arrive from any the most. You get what I'm saying, right? Best to just. And if I don't need to know, I don't want to know. And if I talk, I don't want to talk. And I still do. I still, share the gospel. I walk. But like I said, I just never engaged in any. I didn't try to waste any of my words. So I met Forrest Knowles. We're talking, and he's like, "Yeah, I know exactly where that house is. It used to be an old tweaker house." I'm like, "I know." And Forrest was gutting it out, bringing it up. They'd stole all the dang wiring and everything out of it. He'd come back because he'd have to drive. He lived in Auburn, up on. Don't you dare! She's not. She's going by it, but she's not. I don't think she was. So he had to drive all the way from Auburn all the way down to Savio. And anyways, I thought that's kind of odd. You've never met Forrest, and you lived not even a mile from him. And Roy, my dad, he goes, well, I know Justice, which is he owns the property. My dad stayed on there right down the road from my bro's house, that Forrest here. Uh, and he's like, no, not at all. But he knew of people that, up at Packwood, and it was crazy, but never really met each other. And it's like, wow, those are like those are, this is people that should have had intersecting, crossing paths because they lived in such close proximity to each other. It's just amazing. And then his name's Forrest. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of just in the Lord's just another confirmation, and I felt comfortable talking to him, and I actually, it was his first time in prison, and uh, so I was able to and plus I'd talk to people that a lot of people wouldn't talk to, and I would engage in conversation with them on the tier. Um, to help them out a little bit, actually, just with little tiny little things, that because people like to do what they call hold court. Not we. Don't be conformed to this world. And just people like to pick when you have nothing else to do and you're just, you don't really like yourself too much, you don't love your neighbor, and so you'll people will pick on others that are different. And so though in that case, then I would and then I'll even go down, I'd sneak uh, candy out of my room because I had ordered sugarless candy, and I'll take it down there and I'll give it to them. People see me, I'll say, "Here you go, man." And you know, if this guy's all that, well, then then I'm going to be. And I don't say any of that. It's just it's all it's something that just happens, and then I just do go about my business, and then pray that it stops, because little things like that can turn into nightmares. And like I said, uh, made mine look like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So 2 weeks go by. I'm in Shelton R units. They're not getting my blood. That's for damn sure. Are you sure you don't want? I said, no, I don't. I don't want my blood. I'm not giving you my blood. You can throw me in the hole. You're not getting my blood, or I'm not. I don't want any of your damn shots. Flu season, no shot. I don't want none of your injections. And of course, you have to go through your physical, and if you have any dental work, because it's all classification. They're classifying you what prison, your custody level. If you need dental work, then they'll send you to a prison uh, according to your custody level, where they have a dentist or a floating dentist. Oh God, remember old Snaggletooth? Oof, they farmed that old weirdo out. Oh man, can you imagine this guy? And that's another thing. Like I said, they'd have been on their own assistance, cashing in their own food stamps. So things had started happening real rapidly in the R units. I started getting moved through a lot faster than I normally had before. It could take 6 to 8 weeks to get from the lower R's to the upper R's, and then to your institution, be completely classified and out of there. And everybody to get out of Shelton R units, especially the lower R's, but you're just in your room constantly. And everybody's still irritable. It's extremely dangerous. Um, and it's just not a place to be. So it's a difficult place to be, but also a very good opportunity to win souls for our heavenly Creator. Just you have to be pretty sharp to do it, and daily, just that daily honing. And about 2 weeks in, real early in the morning, Steen, and I looked up what real early, about 3:34, legal mail. So I got up. Of course, everybody can hear everything in this tear, and so I signed for it. Stephanie C. Cunningham, attorney at law. I thought, well, maybe they're mixing me up with my brother again. This is a new warrant or something. I don't know, you know. And I open it up quietly, because again, 10-10 rule. The crap they'd pump in that. We'll get to that in a minute. Oh my God, they call it. Nobody is requesting this music, people. All right, there's some of this rap stuff. They're not requesting this. This is being forced on people. Nobody is saying, "Hey, would you play that song?" They might be now, but they're not doing that. Do you see the crap they call talent? Look at you. Are you hearing some of this? And it's not. I know, it's shit. It is. It's destroying people's minds, and they're not even tactful at it anymore. They're just so blatantly, and it's so it's just oh God, there's nothing to it. Well, there's something to it, but I'm talking. It's just, I don't know. It's definitely not a Casey Kasem top 40 type thing. This wasn't one of these. these songs where they pump that stuff in, and so you make sure your radio's off, and then people turn it on at, like I said, 10:10. That's the rule. Once in a while, people leave theirs on, they'll 10:10 and turn it off. So I'm quiet, trying to be, and right there. I said, Ryan, but this too shall pass. And it says, Mr. Steen, Stephanie Cunningham, attorney at law, your appeal attorney. Basically, in a nutshell, it says, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to help you until I see the transcripts. They're supposed to have them to me and such and such. So anyway, day breaks, and Forrest, or not Forrest, but what the neighbor uh, yells up and says, "Hey, upstairs, was that you that got legal mail this morning?" Because people are they can hear. Some people are, they're snoring until you hear a boom, boom, boom. Hey, man, can you roll over? Um, did you get legal mail? And that depends on how people. Yes, I did. You can answer them, or just it's none of your business. But I'm not sure. Yeah, I got. Uh, didn't you just got here with us, right? And I said, yeah, just got here. He goes, that's pretty fast, dude. That's pretty good. And I said, yeah, hey, do you know about appeals? And he says, yeah, I do. And I said, well, here. And I went and I grabbed it, and I started. He goes, who is it? And I said, Stephanie C. Cunningham. And he went, oh, ooh, what a good. I said, really? I just felt this weight lift. Really? He says, oh, yes, you got a good one. She's one of the library. Sign up for the law library. I'll go. I said, I don't know how to use that. He says, you sign up for the law library, and what they do is your hour out, you'll make a phone call in that gym I was telling you about. You can sign up for law. There's a spot. They won't let you go to a lot of people just to get out of the library, and then they still get to go to gym. They change that because people, they screw stuff up. So he says, you go to the law library. If you don't have to make a phone call, that's why I said all that, and I'll show you how to do it. Show you where it's all over in there. She's won so many Supreme Court cases. She's bad mama jam, and I went, oh, thank you. I got right on my knees and I started praying and thanking the good Lord like I do every morning. And they tried to put difficulties on me, but I let him know right away that we weren't playing these games. That I am a good Christian soldier, but I'm not going to be playing these games in a real nice way. And he ended up he so which is probably the best anyway. Because it seemed like they'll try to anything to try to get that good time. Because good time is just job security for them. Keeps you there longer. So oh wow, that's around one, right there. Oh yeah, that's the one I want. I had it right. I just had it turned around. Hold on a second. Just make sure you're not digging a hole. So I did get to the law library because they kept telling me you're on the list. You're on the waiting list, which that became a real a running joke. Matter of fact, I had to grieve it. Just stop. You're not going to get in there. They're not going to let you in there. You're barely getting a phone call out. And of course, everybody else was going to law library, but I was on the waiting list. And so I had what I did, because what I did is I did I forced them. I forgot what it was called. It's called a not a habeas corpus. I did that. I ended up doing one of them too. But for that DUI, I was trying to force them to come back and get me, because they should have dealt with that stuff before. They didn't want me to go to the law library, so I started having people bring me the papers, and I would fill them out. And, and of course, then they were like, "How in the heck is he getting this?" And I'm like, "Yep, this is legal." And I want to see. And they pull out a book and they write it all down, and then they put a piece of tape over and stuff. But they were still somehow they were there was some there was just some serious tomfoolery with the paperwork. Again, I could sit and for let's see for hours and tell you about that, and I'm not going to do that. But so many different things took place with that. I finally got a response, which means one of those I forgot what it was called. It was a writ of some kind. It was forcing the courts to come back and get me at a. Oh, that's right. With a by a certain time, and what they did is they set me a new court date. That's exactly what the smart asses. They set me a new court date, and then never came and got me, and ended up putting up a new warrant, sent a new warrant to my house, did the suspended the license thing, which they can't do without being found guilty. It was the craziest thing, just to poke at me, send everybody and their mother all this stuff. Oh, it was funny, it was hilarious, man. And the whole time, that whole 18 months, I was shooting stuff to that judge, that Verhey's courtroom, and that letter I wrote her, she never even wrote. I come to find out the court clerk did, and it was just I don't know. It was crazy. So I end up going to I got classified to because I wanted to go to. They asked where I wanted to go. They always ask you where you want to go. They always ask you. And so if well within your custody level, they'll tell you within your custody level where you might have a few choices. And where of them few choices would you like to go? And if you're smart, you always tell them the opposite of where you want to go, and then usually you'll get there. So I told them, well, I want to go to Monroe. It's closer for my daughter to. I wasn't gonna lie. I said it's closer for my daughter to come see me with the baby. She's got a new baby now, and I want to, and my dad and I are starting to get a relationship. I'd want him to. So anyway, I end up going to Stafford Creek, old Kurt Cobain, and I knew Kurt really well. Knew him, knew all about how she that they killed him. They killed him. All about it, and I knew the Lord sent him. He and my buddy Isaac, he calls him Sick Eye. I go, you call him Sick Eye? He goes, yeah, man. Well, Isaac and he was the meter gusher. He could make keys and gush those those meters with the big gulp cup, and 60-80 bucks a whack. Well, anyway, him and Isaac, and I'd forgot. Oh wait, I've got his name written down here. He gave me his mom's number. He was getting sent off. Matter of fact, no, he was coming back going somewhere else because, like I said, that's the hub. If you go to a program or you're getting demoted or promoted or going to a work, you always come back to Shelton and go there. So you go from county to Shelton to be receiving to get classified to your institution, and then if you happen to get stepped down to a lesser custody, a different facility, you'll go back to Shelton to that lesser custody facility, work release. You'll go back to or if you're going to a heavier prison, if your custody level increases or you're on a program, an IMU or something, you still go back to Shelton. You might go from IMU to IMU to the IMU, the intensive management unit deal. You won't go to population, but you always go back to that damn Shelton. And evil. Um, So I was in the upper R's. They moved me to the upper R's. Um, and then I'll let you know about they pulled when I came back. They put me in Ryan's room. Oh yeah, oh yeah. The psychiatrist. Well, why didn't you say this? Well, wherever you go, there you are. Of course, they got me out of there, but it's just another manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday, so I could get to run day because that's the first day of the week. Um, so I met this guy. No, he was operative. He was CIA. I'm talking about CIA. Oh, I just toyed with him. Oh, I made so this kid, this kid, but blew him away. Blew him away. Let the dude, sick eyes, buddy, the one that knows Kurt. I let him sleep in my bed because I knew I was heading out on the chain. I knew what chain because I got my chain bag. Because in prison, that's what they do. They give you a chain when you get that chain bag. That's how you know you're leaving there. That's how they do it. You slide it into there. It's in black marker. So when you see him coming down at night. You'll look and you'll see how many bags he's got in his hands, in brown paper bags. Remember, I told you that's how I got Ryan's Bible. Didn't even know Ryan had a Bible. Didn't know Ryan had given his life to Christ. But see, Ryan had been listening and watching. But I'd put my Bible in my brown bag because I was heading to McNeil Island and I couldn't do that Bible study. And Ryan says, "Oh, here, you can use mine." And I went, "Steen," and I went, "Oh." I didn't want to seem too surprised because Television was on when I opened it up, where he wanted me. Out rolled this paper that he had just signed 3 days before, giving his life to our heavenly. And yeah, so I said, "You know what? I got my bag, man." And he was our rug. See, they like to tiny little cells, but they'll just put a mat on the floor, and we call them rugs. They just pack you in there. It's a lot of bad news, a lot of bad news. Um, I'll tell you about the other guy that's sent into. Or actually, I'll back up a little. So this little Laotian dude, not my angel buddy, but quite the opposite. Stark contrast, and something wasn't right with him. I knew right away. It was he had some serious evil on him, in him, around him. I knew right when he came in, but we was just about ready to go to sleep. It was all getting quiet, and I almost had his name there. He said he was from Portugal, young kid, real sharp, had some gifts, not many talents, but he had a few gifts, but no match for Big D. And so they sent in this Laotian guy, a rug, and we were almost asleep. I'm not almost asleep, but laying, getting ready to, and this guy come right. They sent it way late. Shouldn't have way late. Chain had already long arrived, which they go to the lowers, and then that overflow will push them right up, and we'll get a rug. So you always look. God, are we getting a rug? And if you're far enough back, sometimes you won't get one. If you're far enough back in the hall, but there's and then everybody's own personal stuff that's going on. It can be it can be a challenge, and especially when you're having to you know a gold legend and the toilet is this. So he was just and just, "Hey, those guys, do you hear that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they're talking. If they're talking in Spanish." I said, "Yeah, they're Mexicans. Matter of fact, Millie, that one of them is the one that made that ring. I don't know if you got it. I would have thought you did. It's my socks. that my pumpkin suit, my jumpsuit. He had made a ring out of that, and I sent it. I sent it off in Austin, one of many. And flowers. I was able to get some flowers. Where do you get flowers in prison? I pressed them in my Bible, and I was able to get them because they'll, if they see stuff going up thick, and then they'll. And you've tried to send contraband. They don't have nothing on them. My buddy tried sending one out to have his wife test it. It flipped smooth out. Oh, they flipped out. It was flat. I don't know. I don't know what the heck they had, but they got black lights. They got that stuff so censored now. They watch it coming and going. They always open my outgoing mail. Always. Well, maybe some of it didn't get open. You might have got some that wasn't, but I'm certain it was because there are people that knew exactly. That friendly fire. They wanted to know. They wanted to know. People that were in there, they wanted to know. I just didn't know that. Now I understand. Carter got along so well without even saying hardly any two words to each other. You see, and I still remain faithful. Oh, she would have never risked losing her job, but believe me, she knew because they all told her, "Oh no, this is that one they were talking about." Okay, well then if that's it, then he now and everything that I'm doing, and that's it. And I had to walk accordingly. And it was a rough walk. Too real careful. So smart them suckers, I'll tell you that. They watch for that stuff. They watch for that stuff big time. But she was no dummy. Anyway, all this hoopla about Stephanie, and so that had me. Oh, I almost had a special Kevin. His name was Kevin. Special. Yeah, he gave me a bogus everything. But I kind of knew that already, and there was things he got away with that I knew. I already knew, so he could gain. So he was trust. Well, he was asleep for me, but he was trying to. He was trying his solidarity, his legitimacy. But I knew. Matter of fact, one night he's like, man, you you do talk, you do have that language, don't you? And I just because I knew what was going on. Matter of fact, I took that juice. That red juice makes like blood, and I did my crosses, and this one here, and it sat there on that concrete, and this stuff will stain anything. And I knew I made it so thick, and I painted so thick. I took my little pencil and I drew it in there. He started to started to. It was like we were performing an exorcist, and I was like, oh wow. Because that's where I would get on my face right there by the toilet and pray. And it was there for weeks until one day they had us come out and they had tested it. They took a swab. They wanted to test it and see if it was blood. They didn't say anything, but I knew they did. I could tell. Well, he didn't like that there. He didn't like that there at all. He didn't want those crosses there. And I told him, well, here. I grabbed my ID and I threw it on the ground. I said, here, then scrape it off. He looked at me. I said, go ahead, just make sure my face so you're not looking at it. I said, just turn around, just scrape it off. Go ahead, scrape it off. And so he went to go scrape it off, and a chunk flew because it was like glue. This juice. And it flew off, but it had stained that concrete. It stained that concrete. And he looked at me and it's like, yeah, it ain't even gonna matter. That ain't going anywhere. So this Laotian comes in. He is completely just demonified. He is spewing at the mouth, and I'm not liking this. I'm about ready to go to sleep. Not now. Now I'm, and Kay's not even like, because Okay, let me back up just a little bit. They send this little Mike in, this little this big Mike in little shoes. Okay, black guy, young black, 19 years old, flaming fag, and but not wanting us to know that he's a fag yet. You know, he wants to at least, you know, uh, he wants to, you know, kind of feel his way around a little bit. I'm telling you, these cells are really small, and he started to when he seen that we were, you know, we weren't gonna rape him. Seriously, kind of come out of the closet a little bit. This would have never have happened. Never ever. If you were a homo walker, you were a badass homosexual. Trust me on this one. Otherwise, those fags, they were PC'd up, and fools were dying and killing over these fools. Guards were getting with them. Oh, can you believe it? Tattoos, and they were they were getting a full meal deal. But anyway, so dude, I am literally. He starts flirting with Special K. It's the funniest thing because they have no part. This is just a random rug that comes in. It's just a random. I knew it was completely. It was just a random thing. This guy, Special K, boy, he's a cute kid. Curly little long hair, and oh, he was sharp though. But he was unaware of what was. But he liked those Special K, man, and I couldn't. Oh man, I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. They finally moved him out. They moved him out. It didn't take him long. They moved him out because they, the vent bugged up pretty good. They had the intercoms bugged up, but this they had a special one here, and they were like, "How did this guy get in here?" It was a miss. It was a they moved him quick, fast, so that whole the rest of that all I did was, and it was so good because I rated, and he was just because I would sing, and he hated it too because he's like, because in the upper R's where we were at, oh, she played mostly rock and roll. And he was just a brainwasher with that crap. That that crow was crap. And and like he was like, man, this, and I would just. So it was the funniest thing. I just started making songs, and oh my god, everybody was like, and they don't, you know, people that have been down, you know, they don't, and we're behind closed doors, but they're like, man, what are you guys on? I want, so I know you got acid, because dude, I had Kay laughing. He was laughing so hard at himself. No, he was crying. He was going, please, Steens. God is my judge. He was crying. He was so. I literally just broke him down so bad. He was laughing so hard. He was crying. He was he was laughing because what I was saying was so damn funny because he knew it was true, and it was so sad because he was so fucking pissed off because he knew that that guy wasn't supposed to be in there, and that this was not part of his deal because he was getting paid for being there. Oh, he was getting paid a lot of money, and man, I'm telling you. So, do I have to go over there? Yeah. So, see, this is what I'm drinking. Just broke that. I had this on my trip. I said she, man, she hold groceries in there. Bunch of stuff. I just never looked in. I've been fasting most of the time, on and off. So, anyways, so they get him out of there. So now the Loation comes in late at night, completely suspect, completely suspect, late at night. those are the Mexicans. They're talking about me. I think they're going to try tomorrow. I said, yeah. I figured he was about to tell me. So I what I was seeing, all unfolding real extremely fast, too fast for it's too fast for me at this time of night. I'm ready to go to bed now. Dang it! I don't like to be messed with when I'm sleeping. Of course, like my bro said tonight, oh, he wakes up real easy. I do it, and I go back to sleep real easy when I'm not. When I, up easy, back to sleep, no problem. And this guy was geeked out of his mind. He was so geeked out that I finally seen it. I says, okay, listen, man. He was trying to stuff um, the National Geographics that we had in the door, and I said, "Hey, man, get them books out of the door." Oh, the guards cool. Are the guards cool? I said, "I don't know." I said, I'm not sleeping with the guards." I said, "They're not my buddies. I don't know if they're cool. Why?" I said, "Okay, listen." I said, "Listen. There's a lot more stuff that transpired, but in a short period of time, I looked down at Kay, and he looks at me, and he's wanting to go to sleep too, and so this is not on his itinerary." And I said, "Listen, here's the deal. You've come into a room that is about God. Do you understand? God, peace, and joy here." I said, I don't do any negativity at all. So I don't know, whatever you got going on outside that door, you'll have to keep out. But when you're in here, I said, this is, and I included, I said, you don't mind. Yeah. I said, this is him, and it's his room, actually. I said, I'm his guest. I said, he was here first. And I said, and so, and second, and you're third in charge. So you're going to get all papers out of that door. No one here to hurt you. And if I said, get us too, and then we'll just roll. And I said, but I said, you're on something. You're hot right now, right? And no. What makes your eyes are all bugged out? You're either high or you're Satan. One of the two, and maybe a little of both. He said, well, and and then I said, okay, that's it. So right then, what I was dealing with, and I knew he was gacked out, and then I felt a little safer. I know some of you might say, well, yes, because I know it's just excuse my language, it's just a doorway. He himself, he was. I mean, he made the decision, but it's not like he just woke up and decided one day that was to Lucifer Satan kills the same house, and I knew that he was just under the influence, and so still a doorway, still of that, uh, but I was okay. I was a little more comfortable with that. So I lay down, and it long, and I don't remember he said, oh, and I said, he had flew back quick. Kay got him and said, "Sing," because I was already, and he said, he's high. Remember? He said, "Man, somebody was looking up into the window." I said, "Dude, if you ever in your life," I mean, he said, "I had just looked up and you'd woke up." I said, "Well, yeah, when somebody is standing up over me, I'm going to wake up." "I didn't mean to wake you up." I said, "Well, I'm going to wake up if you stand over me." I was just I wanted to, because the windows, we had little sliding little, because there's like bars, but these windows, and then the bottom one slid. We would feed the birds uh, get those dollar store pretzels on commissary, and uh, commissary truck would roll up all the birds, and of course the rats too. People catching rats, and man, it was a crazy scene. You'd watch them run across the. But so we had a little, our own little ecosystem, a little disruption going on. We once in a while you hear, "Weak, I got one, I got." Oh no, I got it's off. Um, so the and there were windows, and it was a real. It was like this much space between my bed. The ladder was right here, and you had to get up to get on the bunk, and then the toilet was here. So I mean, I get it, but I'm sleeping. So he wanted to. He was tweaking. He was hallucinating, is what it was. And the stuff that's what that stuff's designed. Because he hadn't been up. I asked him how long. I said, tell me, or I ain't gonna be able to help you. He said, oh, a couple days. And then they sent me there, and then I flipped out thinking they were going to. I said, that's exactly you were thinking. They were going to kill you. And then you think these people are talking about you. And then now you're standing. And I said, that shit's not going to happen again. And then the next morning, he was still up. He hadn't gotten. I told him, you stay right. I don't care if you're awake. You turn that damn page in it real quiet. You stay right on that mat and don't move. I'm serious. And the next morning, he was awake. I could see he was still geeked out. He hadn't gotten any sleep. He was calling chow time. He's like, hey man, can I walk with you guys to chow? And I'm like, yeah, don't worry, man. Ain't nobody gonna get you. He says, hey man, can I put a couple of yours in? I said, do what you want to do, man. Ain't nobody gonna get you. You can use my jacket too. So he puts all the, he goes, that's what people do, because if they stick you, you want to make sure you. I said, go ahead, man. And so I'm up because if you run, they'll say, turn around, walk, go back. And they want the guards, they think that's funny because go a long way to the chow hall. And so I have a heel toe it. Steen, you're pushing it. And I'm like, but I can do it. You should have seen how well I act as. I said, I got both on the ground. Got both on the ground, legs. I could go. And that guy's like, hey man, I thought you wait up. I said, yeah, but I want to get back to because I didn't let crap hopped off on that on the walk with the Serranios and Nathaniel, that crap, gang members and all that stuff. I wanted to get to the chow hall, get my vittles, get back, because it was a long haul. It was probably through a. And so that's when I told them, I'm not doing your body fluid stuff. They had a crew that went around, and that's all they did, because I mean, that's, it was, sometimes it would spill. And thinking, I said, you guys got me with somebody else. You got me messed up. Well, Steen, you'll go to, I said, come on. I said, here you go. I'll cuff up. Take me now. Go lock up. So, I slowed down. I said, you're going to have to speed up a little bit. I'm not getting caught up on this walkway. Of course, there's hundreds of people coming out, and they're, because they'll they try to call them, in concession, where they're staggered a little bit, but it doesn't matter. There's so much going on. But since Ryan, thank the good Lord, now they just got big like canisters of. They'll just fill your mouth. That's why they bring in all the drugs. They're led to the hierarchy. They bring it all in. It gets your good time. It creates destruction, death, mayhem. Why would they do that? You think they put their lives in it? It's not about that. They don't care about the you too can be a highly paid correctional officer in 12 short weeks. If you're thinking about stringing a rope up over a real sturdy limb, don't. There's help for you. In 12 short weeks, you too, and dudes go off. But oh yeah, that little bitch is pretty smart. Not smarter than me though. She thought I couldn't see her behind my brother's hog handlebar. She had one foot just like this, and I said move, and she wasn't moving it. And literally, she was in step, and with one foot in that hole that she was thinking she was going to continue to dig in, and she looked right at me and left that paw there, and I said move, and she looked at me. I said move, and she didn't even. She did exactly the opposite of what I asked her to do until I got up. So of course, he ends up getting some sleep, and then they moved him out of there, and he apologized. He ended up apologizing, but then the other funny thing about it was he actually almost got his butt beat because he felt so bad and about what he had done and felt it and basically uh, you know uh, was ashamed and didn't want to be viewed as somebody that might be otherwise taken as a coward or someone that's weak. Really, it's exactly what and so he kind of, yeah, well, I said, no, man, just get go to your room, because he was messing something to, and I was just trying to get in my room. Like I said, when that hallway, when those doors, I just want to get in your. I don't want you standing. In the door. Get the hell out of the door. And I'm not interested in what your coffee theories are as to why we did what we were doing or whatever, and become through something or whatever. And you're like now he's the cock of the walk. It's of course seen it a million times. So then the guy comes in from the special K leaves. Special K gets pushed now that his and he goes. He's not ready to get he leaves, gets released. Send a black guy in. A matter of fact, I do need to. He gave his phone number and a lot of praying together last week that I was there. So they meet him, and that's when I got the guy as I almost said Doug. His name's Doug. His name's Doug. Excellent musician. Knew Kurt personally. I told him about the storage unit. He's like, "Oh my gosh, dude, do you know what that thing?" Oh, I said, "Oh, I know." I said, "The guy told me all about it after I sold it to him. Made me want to sock him right in his nose." Of course, I could have just took it back from him because he wouldn't have done it. And it was so rare. He's like, "Man, there was only 3 of those made. It was made especially for Nirvana, and Kurt wanted it was all custom made at the university and a bunch of his little buddies and stuff. And oh man, they used that to light up when they played downtown." And he says, "Man, that thing, dude, you could have got so much for that." I was like, "Yeah, I had 9-inch nails stuff. I had fish photos. I had the band Fish, which I'd never even heard of until he said, 'Man, do you know what those are?' Had a few instruments, but found in that pocket. I don't do clothes." And she said, "Go through all the pockets." I was going through is at the thrift store, finding money. Go the coin pocket. Going to always check those coin pockets. Stuff's fabric, that money. It'll fold it up, find all kinds of money. And so he comes, he starts like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Yep. Yeah, I know. You know you." And I said, "What about the monastery?" He's like, "Yeah, that weirdo first. Still pedophile." I'm like, "Man, down these city, they're all in on it. They're on that weird shit." Uh, anyway, I get my bag and I'm going to I'm going to Stafford Creek. I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon, guys. I gotta get inside. I gotta take the dogs in. They're looking at me like, "Are you about ready?" I gotta watch the dogs. And here, let me see what we got here. Huh. Okay. I'll do that. See, that's what I'm talking about. But God, I would rather that phone ring. I really, really, really would. Please, please, sweetheart, if that's even close to intent, and from the heart check I got earlier, I mean, sweetheart, please just call. Just do it. God, I got a cow. I'm about ready to. Could have bought it today. He's like, "Bro, you can here if you want. Then you can come over and visit more. You can take it to the house." And then that calf that just dropped too. It's a bull. He might sell me that one. So I'll pick up where we left off tomorrow in Shelton. Okay, I'm going to let you go. And I'm going to tap into Tori Says, but give me a few minutes so that I can get my stuff together. I get all my stuff. I put all my little in this little Coke container, and I'll be in there probably looking at what I got, probably 7 minutes. I know, and I'm your dad keeps getting to bring your big dude. And I told him, once they find out that that's there, they're gonna be there every night. We don't want. All right, guys, I'll be with you, God willing, in eternity. Oh man, isn't that eternity? Wow, it's just that's a long time. Somewhere, somewhere, somewhere. That one. Did you actually expect you're gonna make a difference? You know, down at the one little starfish. There's one propped up. He threw and he says, "I did to that one, just one." All right, look, see you tomorrow or tonight.